I think I need my glasses. More and more every day. You need those reading glasses. I can see better farther away. I don't need far glasses anymore. There's some benefits to getting older. Your sight changes so dramatically. Now I've got reading glasses in every place in my house. I've got 7 of them because I can't get cheaters because I've got a distance eye and a close-up eye. So I kept having just one pair, and every time my husband would say, "Here, look at this. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see anything." So I bought 6. Zenni Optical is great. I got 6 pairs of glasses for like $60. It was awesome. So that's my commercial for today. So run to the one. Boy, we need that now, don't we? The only problem with these is I can't see you so well, and I have to look like a professor. So what I was going to tell you today. So first, let's just breathe together. Life is very interesting. Life is very, very interesting these days. Life is interesting right here, right there. Life is interesting out there. And it's always been weird. I mean, if we look at life, it's always been weird. And there's always been big dramatic things that give us upheaval in our lives, whether it's a personal life or a collective world experience. I've told this before, but I cared for my husband's mom and grandma, and his grandma lived to be 102 and a half. My bonus son's grandmother is on the other side of the family is 103, and she has practically no medications and is just like a pistol. We think she's going to live to be 125. So they've been around a long time. His grandmother was born in 1908. And so she lived through Spanish flu, Depression, World War I, World War II, the communist thing with the scaring about the bomb. I mean, she's lived through tumultuous times. And she would pat my cheek when I would get fretting about something and just say, "This too shall pass. This too shall pass." And I said, "I have to believe you because you're still here through all this stuff. And we're still here through all this stuff." I went to Jim's the other day and picked up medications for my husband and me. And I looked at the lady and I said, "What happened?" I've got like a bag with 3 in one and 3 in the other. "What happened? 2 years ago, I didn't have any of this stuff. What happened?" And she just laughed and laughed. It's like, life is different, right? Life is different for everybody than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 30 years ago. It still freaks me out that the 80s was 50, so long ago. It was 50 years ago. Like, how's that possible? That blows my mind. So I've been working with, how do I be present? How do I show up? How do I not get freaked out every day? Zoloft is helping. I have to tell you. I have anxiety now that I've never had in my life. And I don't know what the cause is. Well, let's see. I've got diagnosed with Parkinson's. My dog died. The world's exploding, stuff like that. No big deal. But again, hasn't it always been that way? Something's happening that's just shaking up who we think we are, who we thought we were. We need to just wake up and change our mind. Change our mind. For me, I have to change my mind. I've told people before, I live in the multiverse. So I'm a person that in every moment sees all the worst things that could happen and all the best things that could happen and everything in between in the moment. That's part of why I get overwhelmed sometimes, because I'm seeing everything. And I have to forcefully turn my steering wheel, my metaphorical steering wheel, to the parts of life I want to see more of. And not the parts that scare me, not the parts that are overwhelming. I don't want to run and hide, but I also want to choose selectively what I'm putting into my mind, my heart, my soul, my body. And fear and hatred and all that other stuff is not something I want in me. It is part of me, as all of us have it. But it's not the primary part. It's not the totality of me and you. I apologized to my husband one time for, being a butthead. And he said, and I said something about, I was a terrible person. He said, no, that's not the totality of you. The totality of you is so much bigger and so much more than this little thing that you're all fashing about. It's a great word. Don't fash yourself. So I think it's Irish. So in this crazy time, I'm going to choose to say no to some things and yes to some things. And maybe this will give you some things to think about. I'm saying no to the whatabouts, all the possibilities that are being thrown out into the air. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if that's going to do? I'm letting go of the whatabouts. For myself, what's going to happen with my Parkinson's? What about, I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know. We think we know. We don't know. I read this thing online. It said, it was a sad and disappointing day when I found out that my universal remote control did not, in fact, control the universe. Not even remotely. I thought I could control the universe, my world. I can't. I can control my response. That's what I can control. Sometimes I can't even control that. So Zoloft is helping. My anxiety was allowing my steering wheel to be turned in the direction I did not want to go. So I'm getting help and support in many different ways to remember to turn my wheel to what I want more of: more love, more compassion, more peace, more kindness, more connection, to remember that we are one and run to that one. In the midst of dealing with anxiety for several months, I kept forgetting to go to the one, to go to that place in me that is calm and peaceful and safe and knows what to do next. Maybe not tomorrow or 3 months from now, but next. There's a place in all of us that knows what to do next, in the next 10 minutes, in the next day. We can't change the world. We can change our mind, and we can change our approach. So I say no to whatabouts. I say no to why this? Why is this happening? Whatever the this is. Why bother? Why care? Well, you should. Ad nauseum. We've got all these things in our head that want to take us away from the truth. You can run and hide, or you can just change your mind. You can run to the one and live in the sun. My bonus son is trans. And my nephew, one of my nephews, is getting married in the summer, and the wedding's going to be in Alabama. He's living in Nashville, but they're going to a venue in Alabama. And my son was invited. And I said no. In my mind, I'm like, no, you're not going to Alabama this summer. That's freaking me out. And he just came home yesterday after being gone for 3 months down in Southern California, doing work and seeing his mom and all kinds of stuff. So it was so good to see him. And I told him about this. And I said, here's the invitation, but I just can't have you go. And he said, no, that's not okay. I'm going. I'm not going to be alone. I'm going to be with all of you. And don't pre-comply. Don't give up before anybody's asked you to. Don't pre-comply with what's being asked of us as a country. Don't pre-comply with somebody else's idea of what, and I apologized to him. I said, I'm sorry. You're a grown person. He's 38 years old. I said, I had no right to make that decision for you. And I'm sorry about that. I mean, he's going to go and we're going to all work it out, but he's a grown-up. And my fear was pre-complying with some idea about how it's going to be. And it's not going to be that way. We're going to be in a place surrounded by family and friends. It'll be fine. But I like this idea. Don't pre-comply. Don't give up who we are for something else. I'm saying yes to finding one source for information that I trust every day. There's all this weird news out now. It's hard to find a source that feels trustworthy. So if we need to go in, find out what's happening in the world, what we can do is maybe find one source for ourselves that we feel confident in going and checking in, just check in, seeing what's going on, and then get out and then go do something nice for yourself. Go take a walk, shake it off like we did last time. Last time I was here, we did a shake off thing, and that was really good. Shall we do that again? Let's stand up. So you'll dive in, you'll get a little information about the world, you'll find out, oh, what about that? Oh my gosh, what's happening there? And then you got to just let it go. So then you're going to imagine you're fluffing your own aura and you're just going to shake it off and make some silly noise while you do this. Ready? Here we go. Then pat your cheeks gently, pat your chest gently, pat your belly, pat your legs, rub your arms, squeeze, knead like you're kneading bread, knead your arms and your big muscles in your body, and all of that resets our brain. All that we just did that fast resets our brain. You can sit down. And it feels good to just be silly. So find one source, and that's it. We just have to tiptoe lightly right now to take care of ourselves so that we can be the kind, loving people we are in the world and do our work, which is to connect with people and be shiny and spread this love energy wherever we go. If we're drained because we've let all this other stuff in, we can't be that. And I know that's who we are. I know that's who you are. To commit to one action every day to help somebody, something. We've got Taffy, which is a great place to go and help. We've got all these opportunities in our community to go and help. You can find a free pantry and put some food in it. We also have a pet pantry in town. It's got pet food and they really, really could use more. I think it's over on 4th and Cherry. I'll find out for sure. But we've got 16 food pantries that we didn't have 5 years ago across this county. So there's food pantries everywhere. Find one of those, go put some stuff in there. Whatever you can do, one thing each day, maybe make a phone call, maybe write a letter, one thing you can do that feels like a positive action for what we want more of instead of what we are afraid of. And then 2 or 3 activities a day. I know this sounds like a lot, but it could be 2-minute things like 2 or 3 activities that are fun, grounding, and lightness, silliness, involve nature, maybe involve somebody else to go with you, but maybe not. Maybe it's up to you in that moment. Simple things that you can do each day, that we can do each day to just stay present and not let all this other stuff take away who we are, our joy. I was losing my joy. I was losing myself. And I don't want that for anybody. So how can we continue to come back to the self, the big capital S self, over and over again? And we do have to do it all over again every day, because as humans, we seem to forget. We seem to forget things a lot. So one source of news, commit to one thing to help, and 2 or 3 activities that are fun, grounding, and light. And where in my day, I was going to say earlier, I was starting to write this down and I wrote, where in my day can I receive time with spirit? Often we say, where in my day can I make time for spirit? Or can I create space or something else? I wanted to be able to receive time with spirit, not just make time. I got to make time for laundry. but I want to receive time with spirit. It's different. There's a different feeling when I'm receiving spirit as I am inside of me. It's a receptive feeling. It's a being given to this gift. We so often want to reach out for something, but let it come. It wants to come. It is us. It's just awaiting every moment, our recognition of it as and us as it. Take a breath. So I would like to open the floor and ask, what kinds of things are you doing these days that are giving you a sense of play or fun or grounding or reminding you to connect and breathe in this time, in this world? So do you have something that you do that you might share that somebody else might go, oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about that as something I could do. Go ahead, see.
When my beloved husband was in the hospital and in agony, very verbal and loud, I had to leave that emergency room. And I was walking the halls of the hospital, and suddenly my feet were prompting, in this moment, all is well. In this moment, all is well. In this moment, 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 all is well. And it's carried me through a whole bunch of situations.
Thanks. What do you do when you're overwhelmed? What do you do when you're freaking out? I know nobody in here freaks out ever, so we're all so perfectly grounded and spiritual.
This is going to be kind of silly.
I like silly.
It's sort of prompted by your comment, receiving spirit, coming space in the day to receive spirit. And I sort of went, well, maybe every moment. And then I remembered that this morning when I got up, I started singing to the tune of This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And I was singing, this little laundry of mine, I'm gonna wash it now.
I love
Wash it now, wash it now. This little light of mine,
I love
I'm
it.
gonna wash it now. And then I started singing This Little Light of Mine. So there's spirit and everything.
Yep. Yep. I started changing my mind, about laundry and cooking and all that stuff. Now I do it with love. I fold my clothes, my husband's clothes. I put them away with love. I chop vegetables with love. It's not like, oh, I have to do this. It's I get to do this. I have food. I have a place to cook it. I have laundry. I have a place to wash it. All of that is a blessing. So all of that we can do. We get to. We don't have to. We get to. We get to live this life as it is and then decide and choose, what do I want to focus on? What do I want to pay attention to? Thank you.
I spend a lot of time at Taffy, and a lot of people walk up to me and say, oh, this is so much work. And I have decided that work is doing something you don't like with someone you don't like. So I really never have to work at Taffy. And it's just remembering, I choose to be here.
Yeah.
I choose. I mean, I could choose to not live.
Yeah.
But I choose to be here, and I choose to make the best of it.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Aho. Alhamdulillah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mine is just a simple, real simple little 5-second one. And it's just when I'm outside, I just look at the skyline. Just look at the trees. Just look at whatever's there, especially here where we live.
Yeah.
You know, you get up in the morning and you just go outside and look, and then that settles me. You can do that all throughout the day, just to take that breath with what you see around you.
Thank you. That's great. Your phone is a wonderful thing, and you can set a random timer to go off and make it just a little ding all day long, several times a day. And one of my friends does this, and every time it dings when he's at work, he just stops whatever he's doing and he takes 3 deep breaths, and then he goes back to work. So simple. We don't do that. We forget. Stop. Everything's going on. Again, stop. Breathe. Get your feet on the ground. Touch something real, you know. Maybe call somebody. Any other thoughts? Ways that you ground?
Usually, I'm a very emotional person. Some people here know that, and most don't, because most don't know me here. But Asha definitely knows me, and she has seen me really emotional. And what I do is I do a checkpoint, and I embrace the emotion, whatever it is. If it's anger, I scream. I don't really scream, but I just, cuss a lot. I cry, whatever the emotion is, I let myself feel it. I embrace it. I honor it. And then I make myself think of, okay, what project interests me? Like right now I'm making penny stoves. So you have to gather certain types of pennies that were made before 1982, or they have zinc in them, and they'll let off a toxic zinc, which is not good if you're trying to, cook something. So anyway, so I did that, I made one of those when we had all that snow and I couldn't get outside and it was freezing cold, and we had like 13 inches up there in Forks. So, I just do a project, and maybe all I can do is collect the pennies for the project. Can't make the whole project, but that sounds.
I don't know either. Is it maybe a bird?
I'm being real still, so I don't think it's me. Anyway.
No, it sounds like a bird, something over there.
Oh,
We'll just let it be.
yeah, maybe it's making a nest or something.
Have it
So
make a
yeah,
baby.
just do that. Embrace the emotion, whatever's going on, and then move your mind, change your direction.
Thank you. We got Eva and then Money.
I have a couple of different go-tos.
I'm not surprised.
One is just to remind myself, this too is God.
Yeah.
God is
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
What is the gift in this for me right now? And there's no place that God is not, so there's got to be good in this. And sometimes I'll, if I have the space to go outside and take a walk, and while I'm doing, especially if I'm feeling off a little, I am enough, I do enough, I have enough, I am enough, I do enough, I have enough.
I like it. I like it.
And all that enoughness just
Mhm.
picks me up. and
Yeah.
I'm good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are
I
two of
love
my
that.
top ones.
Well, I always feel better when I do something for something else. And so I spent the winter feeding lots of birds in my backyard.
Mm.
And I found that they love the most cooked brown rice.
Oh, wow.
And so I put, just a row of cooked brown rice out. And I've come to understand that one little grain that maybe sticks to my spoon when I've done, that will feed one bird.
Uh-huh.
And so I've become really present with that one little grain of rice, and it's like, it's always saying to me, I have enough. And that one little grain of rice is enough for that one little bird.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
You put that on the ground, put it on a table. Cool.
Is there anybody in here who has not seen the movie Inside Out? Okay, so go see it. You can get it anywhere online, you know, you can get it, just download it from anywhere. It's called Inside Out. It's an animated movie. And it's about the people in our brain that are running the show and the character of this young girl. But it's all about the characters in her brain. There's joy, there's anger, there's sadness, and there's fear. And then there's a follow-up movie that came out a little while ago called Inside Out 2. And I just watched that. And it's now the young girl is now 13 going through puberty. And so several new characters show up in the brain, in the control center: anxiety, ennui, which is a very French character. Oh, I'm ennui. Kind of loose and floppy. And then there's, anxiety, ennui, embarrassment, and one other one I can't think of right now, but it's fabulous. It was written by psychologists, psychiatrists, behavioral specialists, brain experts. And so it's really powerful for every age. And it really helps us understand to embrace all of the parts of us, because they all are valuable in some way. And the story plays that out. That we learn that we can't just be joy all the time. We can't do it. We have to let all of ourselves, the totality of ourselves, express. Hopefully not hurting ourselves or anyone else in the process. That's, we talk about that as a spiritual thing, as long as it doesn't hurt us or anyone else. 2 minutes?
No, two things.
Two things. I like that.
One, the movie is, the emotions don't control, they just color the memory.
Yes.
And the main plot for the first one was that, like you said, it can't be joy, but you can have more complex emotions by mixing two.
Yes, thank you. Way more eloquent than I said that. That was way more clear, but it's fantastic. So if you've seen the first one, watch the second one. If you haven't seen the first one, watch it and then watch the second one. It will help. It will help. It made a difference for me, especially with this anxiety character. It was just wonderful. And I teared up several times in both movies, because you feel it. You can feel what's happening in the movie. So that's my thing to recommend for today, that you do for yourself. Inside Out 2, to just find another way to steer the steering wheel in the direction of love and kindness, and allow in ourselves to express and then be loved all those other emotions that we generally want to shove away. Because if we're shoving those away, we're shoving away people who are expressing that way too. We're shoving away love and kindness. We're shoving away the totality of who we are. And we can't help heal the world if we can't deal with our own stuff. If we hate what's within inside of us, we will hate. We will see what we feel. Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there, but we'll find out in a minute.
It's the skylight, it's breathing.
I like it. I think it's an alien, and it's giving us messages through the sound. Very quickly, yes.
And I learned this from my sister friend. She was right up front in a big office, and a man came in. She's sitting at a table desk, and he was just right in her face about whatever was going on for him. And pretty soon she said, "Excuse me, I have to go to the restroom." She went to the restroom and she closed the door and she went. Now, sir, how may I assist you? Silent temper tantrums really work.
And nobody will stop you if you say, "I have to go to the bathroom," even if you're in the middle of an argument with somebody. Yes, way back there. Pardon my swaying up here. I need to move.
So I'm working with at the high school, and let's see, Friday, 159th graders. That's so joyous.
Wow.
It's unbelievably fulfilling to help them. I think my background, I was a pretty much neglected child.
Mm.
So this just rings true to me, to interact, to support, I find their stories fascinating. And it was a great activity they were given by their health teacher to do a daily template of their day. And so
Oh, cool.
there was a lot of discussion there. But the point is, so sometimes I'll go to the alternative high school,
Mhm.
and those young people have so many challenges in
Mhm.
life.
Yeah.
And they're victims and everybody's done them wrong. And I mean, I don't deny that, but I'll say to them, can you make up another story? So I mean, that is kind of what I'll do
Mm.
in my own life. I'll make up another story
Yeah.
if I find that I don't flow with what has been given to me. But I just feel so blessed by everything we have here. And life for us is very good. I can hold a lot of darkness, and I do a lot of deep dive research into things that aren't so great, like Gaza and politics.
Yeah.
But I can also, I'm just one of these people that can hold both those
That's great.
polarities and come
Yeah.
to terms with it or reconcile with it. But I think feeding your soul is one of the greatest things. So art, walking in the forest, everybody has their own thing to do that. It's just a balancing act, right? Or
Yeah.
juggling, I might say.
Yeah.
sometimes.
I'm juggling as fast as I can.
Thank you.
So let's just take a couple of minutes to be quiet, to go inside before we go home, before we go out and socialize and maybe have some lunch. I'm going to sing you a little song that just popped into my head. It's not a new one. It just was one that I wrote, but it feels right for right now. When we don't know what to do. Come unto me, O knowing, descend on me like the rain. Wash me round with connection. Take me home again. I go within, I'm uplifted, and I seek a higher view. My heart is open wider when I remember I am you. When I remember I am you. Come unto me, O knowing, descend on me right like the rain. Wrap me round in connection, take me home again. I go within, I'm uplifted, and I seek a higher view. My heart is opened wider as I remember I am you. I remember I am you. I remember I am you. Keep our hearts open, whatever we need to do. Don't allow somebody or some action to close our hearts. It's vital that we stay open. It's maybe hurting sometimes. It might be hard to balance everything. Forcefully turn the wheel. I choose love. I choose compassion. I choose kindness. I choose helping. I choose life. And so it is. Thank you.
So it is.